Dracula, Vlad Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, Vlad III, Count Dracula, a man known by many, many names. He's held the fascination of the world for hundreds of years, the subject of Hollywood's fixation, both past and present. This singular figure has come to dominate the vampire narrative in film. Following 2024's blockbuster remake of Nosferatu, Dracula, A Love Tale was released in 2025 in a poor attempt to ride the coattails of Nosferatu's success. Today, I want to talk about how we need to shift away from Dracula as a figure, as he has been beaten to death artistically. Instead, let's look towards and draw inspiration from how vampires are depicted in various cultures around the world. When you think of Dracula, what is the first movie that comes to mind? As of recently, is it Bill Skarsgård's performance in the 2024 Nosferatu? There is the 1922 original Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror, the silent black and white expressionist film that laid the groundwork. The visually stunning Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992, the heavily eroticized exploitation Paul Morrissey Blood for Dracula from 1974, or even the blaxploitation classic Blackula films by various directors. Bram Stoker's 1897 novel has become one of the most influential pieces of literature in English, and the plot, themes, aesthetic, atmosphere, etc. have been utilized in film since. As early as 1920 in Russia, there are credible rumors of filmmakers adapting Stoker's Dracula onto the big screen. It is understandable in a sense because the idea of vampires has always been highly romanticized, and culturally that sells well to put into film, TV, and other artistic mediums for profit. As Count Dracula is the closest to a real-life example humans have of a vampire, the primary focus of society's vampire obsession has been focused on this ancient, pasty, 15th century Wallachian prince. 2024's Nosferatu saw massive success for a wide variety of reasons, one of which being a packed, star-studded cast, with names like Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Willem Dafoe. The casting itself is enough to draw in audiences. Artistically, the film builds the dreary Gothic European atmosphere beautifully. Director Robert Eggers crafts a tale with a distinct lack of hope, while keeping the audience engaged and on the edge of their seat. The tone and pacing is impeccable, as we see the development of Depp's character Ellen as she falls into madness from Skarsgård's Nosferatu and his insane obsession with her. The two characters have multiple interactions, and their relationship makes sense. There is history, there's build-up, there's chemistry, etc., etc. However, in 2025's Dracula, A Love Tale, quite the opposite can be claimed in many regards. The opening scene, or first part of the movie, is the only relationship building we see between Caleb Landry Jones's Dracula character and his beloved, or his wife. We as the audience aren't told explicitly how long the two have been married or much about their relationship aside from the opening scene. They kiss, they have fun, they almost make love in front of other people. It's very wild, fancy free. Spoiler alert, the wife dies, and Dracula spends many lifetimes searching for her reincarnation. But to me, the chemistry is not there. They continue to only cite in flashback to the opening scene to build chemistry. And to me, it fails. To me, this movie is a sloppily put together attempt to cash in on the book talk girlies' lust and yearning for a toxic love that spans the centuries. It just felt like this movie dragged on and on after being hyped up so much on TikTok and other social media platforms. And this is why I think we need to stop making movies about and centered around Dracula. The film industry is so oversaturated with these movies, and personally, I felt like 2024's Nosferatu was the perfect end or send-off to this Dracula saga. As vampires are going to continue to be a fascination and fixation of humans, I suggest we expand our settings globally and look at how vampires are depicted in other cultures to create new original stories. You can pretty much look at any country on planet Earth and they have their own specific rendition, depiction, whatever you want to call it, of a vampire or something close to it. From the, and now bear with me, I might say some of these wrong, from the Manananggal of the Philippines to the Obaifo and Osan Bosam of Africa. Many different cultures with robust folklore and stories to reference exist, with a vast plethora of unknown actors and actresses to represent their cultures. This is another thing that gets me as well. We have a lot of these same actors, actresses, or people that look similar, pretty much hashing out the same stories over and over again. And Hollywood eats it up. People still go to see it. And to a certain degree, I get it. If something isn't broke, don't fix it type of mentality. However, this doesn't do good in the face of, trying to make things more diverse. Like I said, you could go anywhere and you can find different stories about vampires. It's not something that is European-centric, American-centric, what have you. They exist everywhere. This idea of someone stealing blood or stealing essence of another person in order to maintain their life as their undead or some version of this. This isn't a unique or original idea. However, we can draw from new concepts, from new ideas, new people to create original stories rather than just recycling and bringing the same things through over and over again. That's it for me. I know this is my first video, might be kind of short. Do you have any specific depictions of vampires in your culture? Please tell me more about it in the comments down below. I may make a video in the future going into more detail about different kinds of vampires globally. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, everyone. Thanks. Bye.